way things are from a couple of years on, things are real horrible here in New York, all over.
You're dealing with a lot of people that are maniacs today.
We're dealing with an individual who's very basic, who only knows two things, rip off or be ripped off.
Many of those who make good by being bad are nowhere to be seen these days.
I'd be afraid. Of course I'd be afraid. He's a sick guy. He'd kill any time.
Yeah, but we're
There isn't anything on earth that I will hide from or back up from.
People seem not to understand the close relationship between organized crime and street crime. And certainly in dealing with street crime in his area or any other kind of crime, the uniformed patrol...
Presenzano, shot 4 times, his throat cut. Presenzano was allegedly connected.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of NYC Crime Spot. I'm here with my buddies, my little geese friends over here. And today we are out here in Suffolk County, Long Island, Babylon to be specific, in the Southards Pond Park. And the reason why we are here at Southards Pond Park in Babylon, Long Island is because that is where our story is going to begin. Specifically on the perimeter of this park, on Seeger Boulevard between Mason and Park, which is right over here, and that is where we are going to go next. After that, we will enter on the other side of the park, other side of the pond there, and we'll do more of an extensive walk and talk about this case, and you'll get to see more of the inside of this park. And what case are we talking about? Well, you'll learn more about that as we go along. But it is a case that some people are calling the newest Amityville horror. Stay tuned. All right, everybody. Now we are on the other side of the park, kind of in the middle, not on the exact other side. We are, of course, still outside Southards Pond Park here in Babylon, and we're heading to Seeger Boulevard between Park and Mason, because as I said previously, this is where our story begins. Now, for many of you that have been following my channel, of course, this is not the first time I've been out here on Long Island. I've covered the Rifkin story out here. We did an extensive walk and talk. I went to the home of Rex Heuermann the day after he was arrested to film some evidence collection. I have covered crimes from crews like the Roy DeMeo crew, which have occurred out here on Long Island. Also visiting Roy's house in Massapequa. So I've done a bunch of things out here. Other than doing stuff for the channel, I spend a lot of time out here, leisure time. And I find it to be a great place, although it does have somewhat of a dark history. Right here we are on Seagull and Park, and that's where we want to be, ladies and gentlemen. Let's turn left. But it does have a dark history, of course, if I'm talking about, characters that I just mentioned, like a Rifkin. You can even get down to like some of the brutal mafia members that might have lived out here, even though most of them didn't commit crimes out here. Of course, Roy did, because he was nuts. Roy DeMeo, that is. But we have other, Rex Heuermann, as I covered, the Long Island serial killer case. Serial killers like John Bittroff, Robert Schulman. Some of these guys even go under the radar. No one even talks about them. And then over the years, there's still cold cases, unsolved cases of missing sex workers and other people out here. So Long Island has an interesting history, a beautiful history, but also a lot of darkness. Right here, you're going to see, I believe, what's Babylon Cemetery, or possibly Babylon Village Cemetery. I'm not quite sure. This is the back of it here. I'm sure it opens up on the other side and gets a lot bigger. All right. So as I mentioned, right here on Seagull Boulevard, this is where our story begins. And it begins on Thursday, February 29th of 2024, this year. A young teen girl is walking to school here, and she starts looking to the left into these shrubs like she probably does every morning. you know, even as an adult, I'm walking and I see woods or shrubs next to me, and you start looking in. And she is going to come upon a horrendous sight. And the sight that she sees within these shrubs here is the sight of a severed arm. A severed male arm. A tattooed arm. Images of this have since been either leaked or released by whoever. I will not be putting those images up here. You guys can seek those out if you want. So within these shrubs, our story begins, and it begins with the severed arm of an adult male found right here on Siegel Boulevard in the morning hours of Thursday, February 29th, as this student is walking to school. She then would call her father and say, "Dad," you know, describing what she found. I don't know what that conversation must have been like. So the father comes here and he observes it himself, and before you know it, cops swarm this area and they're going to start shutting down this park. This whole park is now a crime scene right here on Siegel Boulevard. Police are going to arrive here, and within about 10 or 15 or so feet from where this young lady finds this arm, another arm is found, presumably belonging to the same gentleman. Right within these shrubs here on Siegel Boulevard, across from the cemetery, ironically. Let's get a look inside here. Somebody came here at night, presumably, and this was the spot that they chose to be rid of human remains. So we're going to make our way back this way. Get another look at the cemetery here. So let's make our way back. We'll get another look into this wooded area here. And as I mentioned previously, after this location, we're going to make our way to the other side of the park, because after this discovery is made, as I said before, this park is a crime scene. They need to shut this shit down, right? And they're going to use this park as a site to begin their search for any more evidence or clues into why these remains were here. Now, on the other side of the park, where we're going to be heading now, what has been reported to be the western side of the park, as the search went on through the night, they would discover even more remains, not only belonging to a male, but belonging also to a female. So right now, let's head over there. We'll leave this part of the park here on the outside perimeter of Southard's Pond Park. We are on Siegel Boulevard between Park and Mason. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are now on the other side of the park, Southard's Pond Park, and we're going to walk in here, and this is where we're going to be doing a lot of talking. And we're going to slowly get through this case here. As I mentioned previously, some people are calling this the latest Amityville horror. Simply the latest installment in some dark Long Island history, essentially. Beautiful day today, clear sky. So, on the night of February 29th, after the discovery in the morning of the remains on Siegel Boulevard, this whole park becomes a crime scene, and it would be on this side of the park here within these shrubs near the elementary school that's here. That they would begin to find more body parts. A woman's head, leg, arms, and other remains would be found within these shrubs here. It has been reported that it was on this side of the park near the elementary school where we are right now. So we got body parts on Siegel Boulevard. Now we have body parts here, and we have what looks to be two victims, adult male and an adult female. Out here in Babylon, Long Island, Suffolk County, Long Island. So right now on Long Island, when these things happen, as far as crimes like this, when human remains are discovered in the woods or in parks, the inclination is that it is some sort of gang violence. Of course, over the past 5 to 10 years or so, we've been hearing more and more about these gangs like MS-13, who have infiltrated some of these areas of Long Island. More so Suffolk than Nassau, as far as what I know. But the automatic assumption is like, here we go again, more MS-13 killings, they're leaving bodies in the park, this and that. And it's not a bad assumption, because we're just going on evidence of like what's going on in Long Island the past 5-10 years as far as the discovery of, grisly discoveries such as this, right? But this would not be the case in this incident. This would not be the case because on Monday, March 4th, on the night of Monday, March 4th, the police would serve a warrant at the residence of 25 Railroad Avenue in Amityville. By the next morning, they would announce the arrest, that they had people in custody who they believe had to do with the remains found right here in Southard's Pond Park. Here we are on the other side. As you can see, here is the water. Those individuals would be identified as 44-year-old Stephen Brown, 38-year-old Jeffrey Mackey, 40-year-old Amanda Wallace, and 33-year-old Alexa Nieves, all who reportedly lived at that address with the exception of Nieves, who, according to how law enforcement says, or the press, Miss Nieves is what you would call unhoused, which I assume means homeless, but I also assume that she was probably living in that apartment. All right, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see now, we are on the other side of the pond, the other side from where we were at the beginning of this upload. Now, after they would announce the arrest of 4 individuals, the next Tuesday, they would discover more human remains out here on Long Island. So they raid the house Monday night in Amityville, 25 Railroad Avenue, and then the next day they're going to find more body parts. They're going to find body parts in a shrub area, sort of like the area on Siegel Boulevard. This is going to be across from the address at 103 Lakeway Drive, right here in Babylon. After that, they're going to find more remains at Bethpage State Park. It's about 15 or so minute drive from here. It's a huge park, over 400 acres. Right here in Southard's Pond, we're only about 70-something acres. For golf aficionados, you've heard of Bethpage State Park. It is the home of Bethpage Black, of course, a stop on the PGA Tour. It is a place that next year is actually going to host the Ryder Cup. It has hosted some U.S. Opens. I believe Tiger Woods in 2002 won the U.S. Open there in Bethpage. Very beautiful park, high-profile park, and these individuals who we suspect dumped these remains, the 4 that have been arrested, were using that park to do some of this work of disposing remains. Now, the interesting thing about this whole case so far, outside of human remains being found, of course, that is interesting and horrific. The interesting thing about this is that on Wednesday, March 6th, the 4 individuals arrested, they would be released without bail. But they got ankle monitors, so that's good, right? Let's talk about that. So 44-year-old Stephen Brown, 38-year-old Jeffrey Mackey, 40-year-old Amanda Wallace, and 33-year-old Alexa Nieves would be released to wear ankle monitors, and they wouldn't have to pay any bail money. No bail money would be put up for what looked to be their involvement in these horrific crimes. Now let's look at what they were charged with. So they were charged with 3 things: hindering prosecution, tampering with physical evidence, and concealment of a human corpse. Now, under the New York State bail reform, which went into effect in 2019, apparently, due to the nature of these charges, there is no bail for such a charge. So the only thing a judge could do was release these individuals back out into the public to wear ankle monitors. And if you think that's bizarre, well, welcome to the party. Of course, this has brought out many people who are upset about these revelations. Suffolk County District Attorney Raymond Tierney has been making the rounds, complaining about it. He's been appearing on television programs and talking about why these people were let out due to the bail reform. He actually made a point in saying that in some instances, when you have this reform, you could tell a judge in other states, or whatever it may be, that the people are a danger to society, even if it's not a bail situation. And you can convince a judge that these people are dangerous. Look at the charges. Look at all of the facts that we're telling you here about them taking part in the butchering of humans. I think they're a danger to society, Your Honor. I think they need to stay locked up. Unfortunately, according to Raymond Tierney, he was not allowed to do that here in New York. So these individuals are free right now, with the exception of one. We will get into that. Now, ultimately, we would find out who the people were who lost their lives. Who were these people that were found dismembered out here on Long Island? They would be identified as a couple who shared a Yonkers address. We have the 53-year-old Malcolm Craig and the 59-year-old Donna Connolly, who are presumably a couple. I will be putting pictures of them up now. You guys can see that. Now, another thing that's interesting here is that Malcolm Craig is the cousin of one of the arrested people, Stephen Brown, a man who was arrested for apparently having to do with this crime, a man who is out with an ankle monitor right now. That is the cousin of the deceased 53-year-old male, Malcolm Craig. According to prosecutors, they would tell the judge that day during the arraignment that these individuals hacked apart 2 adults within the confines of their apartment at 25 Railroad Avenue in Amityville before dispersing their remains throughout Long Island. And when police went to that residence, they would say that they would find blood, knives, and it appeared to them, from what has been reported, that the suspects were attempting to use the plumbing, the toilet, possibly to be rid of remains. After the search warrant was served at that address of 25 Railroad Avenue in Amityville, the police would say that the apartment is no longer habitable. So as of now, nobody is there. As a matter of fact, one of the lawyers for the suspects would say that the county, Suffolk County, the government out here, is helping them with housing assistance while they're awaiting their next court dates, while they are awaiting a potential murder charge, which has not come out yet, ladies and gentlemen. We are a almost a month removed from this situation, we still do not have a murder charge. According to DA Raymond Tierney out here in Suffolk, they are putting the pieces together. That involves camera footage, license plate readers, and a bunch of other stuff that he is not talking about at this moment. Potentially, we might have a cooperator in our midst. Maybe one of the four is cooperating, and they're putting the case together using this cooperating witness and basically trying to get a solid case together. So they don't want to mess this one up, you know? And for those of you who don't know Raymond Tierney, he is out here in Suffolk County. If anyone has been following the Rex Heuermann, the Long Island serial killer case, he's kind of the guy that's been front and center doing all the talking. He's gotten a little criticism for that. I don't know what his role going forward in that case as far as being vocal in public. I don't know if he's going to step aside at one point, but he's kind of been the man that everyone's hearing from. And as I said, he has gotten a little criticism for that. So I think we're up to date, ladies and gentlemen. I think the only thing to do now is to head over to 25 Railroad Avenue in Amityville. Check out the home where, according to prosecutors, 53-year-old Malcolm Craig and 59-year-old Donna Connolly were murdered in and taken apart by four individuals. 44-year-old Stephen Brown, 38-year-old Jeffrey Mackey, 40-year-old Amanda Wallace, and 33-year-old Alexa Nieves. Let's head out to Amityville.
Okay, everybody, here we are. We're out here in Amityville. We're at the intersection of Railroad Avenue and Broadway, right next to the elevated Long Island Railroad tracks. And just ahead of me, right over there, is 25 Railroad Avenue, the home which some people are calling the new Amityville Horror House. Of course, it harkens back to the DeFeo family situation in the 1970s. Ronald DeFeo, of course, the original Amityville horror, the original massacre which took place out here. Many of you know that. Don't have to go into that. But we are here right near the residence where Mackey, Wallace, Brown, and Nieves lived. Now, Nieves, as I said, was unhoused, as they said, but I have reason to believe, based on the story, that she was probably living there as well. It's not a major detail, but that is my opinion. Now, before we got here, I did mention to you that one of these arrested individuals is currently back in jail. That would be 40-year-old Amanda Wallace, who decided late last month, a couple of weeks after she received her brand new ankle monitor, she went to shoplift at a local CVS pharmacy. She has violated the conditions of her temporary release, and she's back in jail. So no ankle monitor for Mrs. Wallace, just a fresh new jail cell. The other three, Mackey, Brown, and Nieves, are wandering around Long Island right now. We don't know where they are. I'm sure law enforcement knows where they are. So, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we're in Amityville and Railroad Avenue. Let's go to 25 Railroad Avenue, where, according to prosecutors, the death of 53-year-old Malcolm Craig and the death of 59-year-old Donna Connolly took place, and it is quite possible, based on what they found in that home, that their bodies were desecrated inside that residence, taken apart, and strewn about Long Island, the location that we just showed you, and other locations. So without further ado, let's head over to 25 Railroad Avenue. All right, everybody, let's do it. Let's go. Let's leave Broadway, and let's make our way to 25 Railroad Avenue, which is going to be just down this way. Heading to what some people are calling the newest Amityville horror home, and just another chapter in some of the dark history of Long Island. Of course, I spoke about in the beginning of this video that I think personally Long Island is great. A lot of
Great history here, a lot of beauty here, a lot of great parks, great neighborhoods, great people, great food. But sometimes we got to get hit with a little bit of darkness, unfortunately. So we're going to cross the street here. Let's not get hit, but let's cross the street before we get to that location so we can get a frontal view of the establishment. So on that Monday, after the 29th of Thursday, they would come to this residence here. "25 Railroad Avenue." This is the home in which prosecutors say 59-year-old Donna Connolly and 53-year-old Malcolm Craig were killed and taken apart. We could zoom in. You see right there, 25, and that is Railroad Avenue. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I had to stop for a minute, but what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the door and we're going to read the sign that's on that door right here at 25 Railroad Avenue. We're going to observe the premises really up close, I guess you could say, right? So, doesn't look that anyone is here. Apparently it has been left uninhabitable, so let's go up here and look at this. Suffolk County Sheriff's Office, 25 Railroad Avenue in Amityville. Date 3/22/2024. So we are at the front door here of this residence. So here we are on the property of what some people are calling the new Amityville Horror Home. Let's get a view of what this looks like here. We have the railroad. The house is apparently uninhabitable at the moment, but let's go on the side here. Windows have been left open. So let's head out. Let's go back to the front here. Hope you guys are enjoying this upload. This is what I like to do. I like to bring you guys right to where these things happen here. Today out in Long Island, usually in New York City. 25 Railroad Avenue. Right here. As you can see, that bottom window is open. There is nobody in this residence at the moment. But we are up close and personal. Let's go to the back and see if there's anything going on here. All right. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm sorry to say that this is where our upload ends. Right in front of 25 Railroad Avenue. The home where, according to prosecutors, 59-year-old Donna Connolly and 53-year-old Malcolm Craig were murdered, systematically taken apart, and then from there, their body parts strewn about in Long Island, in different parks, in different shrub areas. A true horror story. Will this home behind me go down as the next Amityville Horror Home? What will be the future for this home? For now, it's just another dark entry into the history of Long Island and the many bizarre crimes and people that have inhabited it. With that, I hope you enjoyed this upload. Thank you for watching NYC Crime Spot.